Okay, today I wanted to do basically I wanted to do another video actually. I wanted to do a video where I was speaking about quantum computing and yeah, what I understood about quantum computing, why I think there will be a new way of creating computer that will not necessarily be only digital and blah blah. But this morning, like it's actually 2 or 3 days that I want to speak about this. But this morning I wake up and I woke up and and I read a paper that basically says that a group of people was able to create a computer that was able to recognize numbers, and it was made in a biological way. So it was basically, a new type of computer made from biology, and it's exactly what I was working on last year, and that made me think why I still didn't publish a paper, even though I had many projects to work on. Why I didn't publish any paper? Why I'm so non-current? Like I don't mind that much about those things. And so it made me reflect, it made me think and go back in time, and I come to the conclusion, it's because it's also my fault, but it's also how school works, how university generally work. They're bad, they're shit, they don't work good. And you might say, they might have some problems, but they are not that bad. And I will say, well, I will tell you a little bit my story, and now you tell me if this is okay, or if this is not a coincidence. Like my story is very bad, like my education story is very bad because the school system works bad and they put stupid people to teach. I think teaching is one of the most important job ever. Okay, teaching should be as important as doctors. It's extremely important. Schools needs to be reformed. Schools as they are right now, they're pathetic. Honestly, they are like I don't know. I don't know so many things. Okay, that we live by every day. We just support. Like we don't try really to change. We just support. We just say that's good, we accept that the life is not perfect, then we keep going on this basically mountain of errors that they just continuously grow on and grow on and grow on. Is absurd, honestly. Like these things, like if we do something every day, or we do something often, it is important that it is important to put basically most of the time in it. Like if I do something 10 hours a day, this 10 hour a day needs to be very, 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 very well studied. That's my point. But now I will speak about my basically story, and how my experience as a high functioning autist was extremely shaped in a way that made me basically disgusted by schools, made me disgusted by everything around it, and made my life extremely hard also for this. So basically, I will start from since when I was 5 years old. So when usually people start to go to school at 4 years old. I don't know when they start to be at school usually, but so I start at 5 years old, and in my family, where I was living, they gave me possibility to go to school if I wanted to go to school, and they basically give me all permission to do what I wanted. So I didn't want that often to school. When I went to school, I remember that I was often kicked out from the class, and when I was kicked out from the class, basically, I was not learning, and so I was thinking by myself, blah blah blah. Other times it happened that for a reason or another, it happened that the teachers were not able to manage me somehow, I don't remember me to be that much unmanageable. I remember I was quite particular, probably, but unmanageable I think is a big word. Um, so they basically made me going around the elementary school with a hat with writing donkey on it, and it was a religion school, so we eat all together, and I needed to go around to all class, knock knock, and say it's ready to eat, and so that everyone were able to see me with a hat written donkey on it. After I was able to go to live with my mother, and that happened towards 7 6 years old. I started to change city, went to live with my mother. I remember that when I left this first school, this Christian school, basically um, all my teachers were happy, but one that was the mathematics teacher, that she was not happy, and actually she was crying because she said that during her lesson, like, I was never aggressive towards anyone, because seems that I was aggressive. maybe not. I don't know. I don't remember this not that well. I remember some episode, but I don't remember that this episode were not were mostly a response to the environment that I had. Not really. I went and I was aggressive like this randomly. And it was also a very particular school. Like thinking right now with the knowledge of with my post knowledge, I can realize some patterns that were not perfect there, other than the one that I said right now. So I went to a new school, Bologna, and this was at the beginning. I started to study because I don't know. I wanted to study. I said, okay, let's study, and I started to study a lot, and like basically all day. And I realized that when I was like 8 years old, there was one guy that had an interrogation, right? And this guy that had an interrogation was basically was the prof said, the teacher said to him, yeah, look, you didn't study enough, but I will still give you 6. And so I thought with myself, wow, this guy took 6, and I'm studying so much, and I take like 7 or 8. Is that like good to do? Like, am I doing something really stupid here? Should I not study probably? Because I mean, this guy takes 6, and I take still 6 in Italy. That was enough to pass, but not enough, to say, yeah, it was enough to pass the minimum, the bare minimum to pass. So basically, my mother was still mad at me, even if I was with 7 and 8. So I said, well, I was simply go and not studying anymore. I would stop study, and I did stop study since that day, and I stopped study for basically every time that they give me homework. Since that day to the today days to till now, I stopped study. I planned before I will start study. When I was going to reach the subject of Arabic culture, so Mesopotamian culture, because I liked how it was how it was how the home were designed. I liked how the sun were going to influence the construction. So I said, I will go to study back there, but actually I simply stopped continuously, and I simply lived with 6 or stuff like this. My mother was still mad at me no matter what note I was going to take at home. So what's the matter? So this is one part of my elementary school, and after there is another part. The other part is that it was in a period in Italy where basically there were only 2 prof. So in Italy, a law passed that say that in elementary school, so from 6 years old to 10 years old, from 5 to 10 years old, something like this, so the last 5 years, you didn't need more than 2 teachers because it was too much expensive, because there was not really that much usefulness, blah, 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 blah. For some reason, I had so 2 teachers, and both of those teachers were not good. And you tell me what is the chance, okay, that I had these 2 teachers not good. One teacher didn't like that I was waiting while there was 30 minutes of playing, so she said, okay, let's basically keep Gianni in the class and write verbs. So basically I was every time my friends, were down playing, blah blah blah, I was writing the class verbs, and the other teacher, she didn't like my mother. So while her lesson, I was basically doing mathematics problems, and I was not the only one that had trouble, for example, with verbs or mathematics problems, but I was the only one in the class. I remember like 1 or 2 times there was another person, and I found this absurdly. I was not able to go to speak with my mother because me and my mother, we didn't have that relation. For my mother, she listened the teacher, and the teacher said that I was bad, and so basically not much, you know. I after went away from elementary school and I started middle school. So after that, you have from 5 to 10 years old. You start from 10 to 13 years old middle school in Italy, and this was another particular moment for me because from this was basically my past. This was my elementary school. I started to hate school. I found the school a place very hypocrite. I found the school a place that doesn't give that doesn't give encouragement to do anything. But I thought probably, you know, in middle school would be different because I have new prof. But I had like a mathematics prof, and she basically was mad at me because I like a lot science. I really enjoy science, but for some reason she didn't like the fact that when she was teaching science, I was making a question that was not exactly what she was speaking at the moment, and this puts me trouble. So basically, she gave me notation where she said that. You know, disciplinary notation. So basically, where this stuff, if you have three, basically it's very bad. Adhere, if you have three of these adhere, it's extremely bad in Italy. So basically, she was reading. Yeah, Johnny doesn't pay attention at the lesson because he's reading the book, and he's, for example, I remember that she was teaching about sound, and I did a question about mirrors and lights, and she got really mad at me, and yeah, and I got this. So for me, it was already problematic to show to my mother those things. So I basically started to get even more oppressed by this environment, because science for me is really cool. It's something that I read since every day and since I was very little. So basically something that I wanted to do, something that I wanted to study, that I didn't have the possibility to do anywhere else but at school, I was blocked by doing it. And I think this is a problem. It's a problem because kids needs to be pushed forward in their curiosity. You are a prof, but it's not, you know, you're not at the center there, okay? You're a prof, you're a teacher, you're not at the center. The kids are the center in this moment. You are there, you know, to guide them, not to guide yourself and make yourself follower. You're not, you know, you're not a pastor. You understand? The kids are not sheep. This is something. This is something that makes me really mad right now, and I will destroy all those places. Honestly, I'm tired of these things. I'm tired of this stuff. How it's possible that those things still exist? And this is like this is not a coincidence. This is normality. This is like this is second. And after experience in science, after literature, I had another experience in literature. Like the prof was asking the teacher to ask kids to write a story, and I wrote a lot. I wrote a short novel, and basically the teacher was getting mad at me because I wrote the wrong verbs. So I understand verbs are important. Okay, this I understand very well. The thing that I don't understand is that the objective there is to write a story. You should see the story. You should not see the verbs, because there you're asking to write a story. You're not asking to write verbs. If not, you ask to write verbs, and that's it. You don't ask to write a story. You're asking to write a story. So after this, she got really kind of weirdly mad at me, and because my verbs were not perfect. I don't think I was the only one with the verbs not perfect, but as I said before, the problem of those schools that I received when I was little is that, teachers sometimes are friends. So if you do something in one lesson of one teacher, you might expect that another lesson will be bad. And that was bad after she basically called there was a particular class in the school that it was only for people that didn't speak Italian and all those things, and she put me there basically. And this is a place, where there are people that are not able to do anything basically. And after the educator that was there was reading what I was writing, and she asked me why these verbs are like this, blah blah blah, and I basically answered. And after she understood that this was not exactly where I should be, and that was not exactly the situation where she needed to be involved. So she basically refused me after some months and put me back in um, the my normal class. But the things is that it didn't finish there. They made me lost 1 year when I was 10 years old. So basically, this doesn't happen that often in Italy. They wanted also to make me lost 1 year when I was 5 years old. It didn't happen because my mother basically made me change city. Because after I went to live with my mother, so I changed city, so it didn't happen. When I was 10 years old, I lost 1 year. That was very bad for me because I had problems with my mother. My mother, she's really um, really severe for those things, for everything basically, but for things even more, because she thought that I was basically a slacker, someone that didn't want to do anything in his life and all those things. And she's very, 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 very severe. And so she said that she didn't want to um, basically speak with me anymore, and she stopped speaking with me about those things. And I felt even more excluded by everything. And she said that she was ashamed to go in the school where I was studying and be seeing with me. So this was even more hard for me because I, I I actually like a lot to study. I love to study, but I didn't want to study at the same speed as probably everyone else. And I think this is normal. All students, or they don't want to study, they can study at the same speed as everyone else. They needs, they needs a little bit more flexibility, and this is something that is really missing in schools. And something very bad. You can't not allow kids to not have flexibility, because after they grow up like me, they grow up that they started to hate schools, and they, you know, hate schools a lot, like a lot. And after this, what happens? Somehow I changed prof after I changed everything, and I had some normal 2 years, 3 years lefting. I had a lot classical. I was bullied a lot also because I was the only one that lost a year when I was so young. So no one else lost a year so young, and everyone was kind of targeting me. I was target with people that bullied me, but the same way, when they bullied me, like for example, I found it a little bit absurd that one day I had two guys that were bigger than me that they tried to trap me, and I fighted back, and they went to the president. I fighted back. I saw that they stopped. They went, and I went classroom normally, because I say, okay, what should happen? I went to the president to me and said that I basically bullied those people, and I found this absurd also, because basically, because I had this past in the school where I lost the year. Basically, I didn't have no one that was believing me. There was another moment where there was one kid, my friend, my friend, that what type of friend that was in the bathroom. I found him in the bathroom, and he basically dismounted at the door. And he was not, it was not that big. He was a little bit like 10 centimeter lower than me in height, but I'm not that tall. Me, I was 10 centimeter lower, 5 centimeter lower than me in height. So basically, I tried to say, "Wow, that's so sad." I tried to help him, and basically, someone came that were working in the school and was seeing me there with the door like this, and she said that that to she said to my teacher that she saw me and this other guy in the bathroom like this, and I explained it. I didn't do that. Like I was trying to help, and the teacher said, "No, Johnny, no way. This other guy did it. You did it. He can't do something like this. It's you that you did it." So basically, I had this problem again, and yeah, I get many problems, and this is not a coincidence. This is a system that is corrupted. This system that is very bad. This is a system that needs to die. This is a system that I want to see changing, and if it doesn't change, it will change me. I'm tired of those things, and it's not only. Um, After I went in high school and I started to basically, do what every high school person does. So being extremely lonely. And I realized that I found actually 2 or 3 profs that were very nice to me, and that was something that really surprised me. A 2 or 3 prof in all my years, basically I found 2 or 3 profs. Because even on other stuff, when I was in middle school, there was one prof of technology, and I was mad at her because she was doing nothing about teaching technology. She was not doing nothing. So one day I said to her, "Why we are not studying cloud computing, for example?" And she said to me, "Bah, we don't need to study cloud computing." So I said, "But I think I could do something about cloud computing." And she said, "Yeah, do it then." And I was okay. I will do something about cloud computer. After I waited for 2 weeks basically, and because I'm procrastinator still. And after she said to me, "Yeah, you see, you're not doing anything about cloud computers." So I say, "Wow, you're crazy, honestly." I told in my head. I didn't say to her, "You're crazy, honestly." So when the week after I did a 2 hour lesson on cloud computer and open source when I was 12 years old. And the thing is that kids like to see that. They like it to see another person like them. That had their same age, be interested in something. This is something important, and this is something that is missing in many schools. I saw this stuff happens very few times. It needs to be, yeah, a lesson needs to be more interactive, needs to be also sometimes taught by the word of kids, because kids needs to see themselves in the other person, needs to be kind of represented by something. So after I did that, after she said, "Yeah, that's good," but after she didn't continue anything. Like basically, she basically made me do her job for one day, and that's it. And yeah, after I went to high school, things were a little bit different, as I said before. In the sense, I found 2 or 3 teacher prof that were really intelligent, but still I saw kind of still saw injustice also in high school. And I still went out from the mentality of middle school, elementary school, where everything was so bad. So in high school was not that much different. There were still preference, and yeah, that was a little bit particular. And for example, I created a manifestation. I did a manifestation in high school, and we occupied the school, and we were like more than me to occupy the school. Like I was not the only one to occupy the school. There were 5 person that we organized, 6 person, 10 person that we organized, but I was not the only one to occupy the school. We wanted to occupy the school because we weren't against the money cut on the school. They wanted to cut even more the amount of money on the school. Like the level that was in Italy was that you needed to take your own toilet paper to go to school. You needed to take your own photocopy to print stuff at school, and I thought this is absurd. So like already is bad, okay? If you want to put it even worse, so it's normal, that I agree with it. Even though I was skeptical in the method of doing that, I still did it, and still I was the only one with that went out with 6 in comportment, and 6 in comportment by law you should have lost the year, but I didn't lost the year because I don't know, something. So yeah, that's my stuff. So another things, I after I started university, I changed 3 times university, and something that I found absurd is that I they told me, when I was little, you will go to the university, and that is where you will be treated as an adult. I went to the university, and I basically see a big elementary school. I didn't saw that much difference. I didn't saw, yeah, they speak to you with the third person. Okay, in Italy they do that. In France, I think also they do that. I don't remember right now. So they speak with you with the third person. In France, yeah, they speak with you with the third person. That's it. But it's still the entering to the university is weird. I needed to do a very hard test, and after I entered in the university, and I saw that this art test was basically kind of it was not to really measure any type of things. It was only to make it harder to go in a place that had a few places, and there was really not really not a lot of effort behind it trying to diversify the test. There was only this since like I don't know many years. So after I went there, I say, boy, I don't want to do that anymore. I changed it again, another university, and this university I studied a little bit, and after it, I saw that basically it was divided in two classrooms, and I realized that the prof stays in one classroom, and in the other classroom there was a television, and so basically, yeah, basically you can understand what does it means. It means that you are separated by the prof, but not only. Because when you do an exam, basically in the classroom where there is not a prof, it's not that the prof comes often there. Sometimes it comes, but you see it in the television where it goes there. So you can basically copy, and I, find this disgusting. I didn't like it that much because I said, wow. So basically, after I went in France, I started to study in France, and I saw in France also there like people are not going to the university because they want to go to the university because they like to go to university. People are going to the university because if they don't go there, they think they are useless. And that's really, 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 you can see it a lot. That's like me, I needed to change 3 time university after I needed to go in another university again, but these places was not, was not basically accredited by institution, and so I needed to change, and now here I'm in another place where it's accredited by institution, and you can study as you want, and this is something important. Find the things that is absurd is that I needed to change place 4 times to find something like this, and this is not good, because if you want to do research, if you want to write, some sort of paper, or want to have help by a prof, or blah 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 blah, it needs a lot of time before having this, and this a lot of time probably not everyone is okay to give it, because it doesn't see the importance in it. It doesn't see the the wow, I want to do that, right? The sadly there are things that life change, when you get older, things change, point of view change, but the passion probably still there, and needs to be more facility that helps towards this project for me. Like people that wanted to do research, they needs to be allowed to do research when they want, basically, and not all in the same way. Because another part, and they realized that I saw some people that were working in research that they say that their prof basically were abusing them for having their name on papers. So as you can see, I didn't do much research, me, honestly. So I don't have my own experience in it. Probably it will be different, but till now was quite shit, honestly. And what I don't like is this conception that you need a degree, for example, to do something, or you need a piece of paper and to for example measure your utility in the workplace. I don't think this is true. I think a piece of paper can't measure really that much. This is I saw it in my past, in my experience, basically. So yeah, that's why I think this system needs to change, and I hope it will change very soon, because people are are basically limited a lot by how schools are made right now, since they are really little, and this is something important. Schools are important. People needs to be happy to go to school. They need to find a school that has a more playful character, and governments needs to put way more money in school than they are doing right now. Teacher needs to have a little bit also their own time. Also, teaching is very hard. I have some people that they teach as a job, like, and it's very hard. And they are both part are important. Now I will concentrate on the student part. After I will probably do another video where I speak about the teaching part. That is also very hard to do. And yeah, I think school needs to be changed. Like it can be, school can be a place where people wants to go. It can be a place where people wants to go. And if it goes and becomes a place where people wants to go, you will see that many things will change. For example, you will see, even I'm quite sure even the quality of papers that will get written will be better, will be more creative. Like right now, I feel like there was a lot of effort to go fast in these last years, in this 120 years since the industrial revolution. I feel like there was a lot of effort to go extremely fast, and this will come with a price, come with a price with the environment, come with a price also with the personal psyche. And so I think right now we need to do things a little bit slower, but also drastically change um, many aspects of our daily life, and starts from what everyone has in common to the most detailed part, or start what everyone must have in common to the what no one has in common, to again what everyone has most in common. Like, I'm not declaring an order in how to do stuff. I'm saying, yeah, those things. That's it. So for now, this is why basically I found school system to be soon changed. I will. I'm sure about it. I don't think this is sustainable. Also, this is not normal. This is not normal. Kids needs to be treated like kids. University needs to understand that you know uh, if that, yeah, they should be what university was supposed to be. Honestly, I think a university is supposed to be a place. When I imagine a university, I imagine a place where people want to study more, and if they have the time to study more. Like, I think university needs to give people time. People that go to university needs to have their own time, because you don't need someone to do, for example, a degree in 3 years. That's not the point. You need someone that does a degree and that learn everything that wants to learn in it. Like, if someone takes 8 years to do a degree, that's okay. At 8 years to do a 3 years degree, that's okay. There is nothing bad about it. You don't need to go fast in those stuff. You need actually to take your time, because the things is you can even probably you should allow the university, for example, um, to be bigger, for example, to give people more time to be there, to be also to be to allow university to give space to people so that they can own in their own project, and if they want they can work. Because the things is that universities, they want you to work full time, but not everyone has the luxury to work full time for a university. Like, and yeah, it needs to be slow. Things needs to be slower than how much there right now. I find it absurd that things goes like this. I think our personal time is not respected in this environment, and this comes to a price of everyone.